that his, he wasn't like a flying squirrel, but he did it. And to say that it's all genetic, like, no, he had the same genes. Like, this is the same guy. It's not.
And it's also not inspiring.
Yes.
So, like, to say that, but that's the tension. If you say it's all genetic or it's significantly genetic, then you're encouraging people to be more accepting of the challenges of other people's lives. Like, your life might be, everybody's walking a hard road is basically the philosophical thing. That you don't, just because it's easy for you to exercise doesn't mean it's easy for others to exercise.
Sort of. But aren't they also saying you don't even have to walk that road because it's not going to help you?
Yeah, exactly. So that's a very poor statement of that. It's a trade-off. I mean, it's a different philosophy. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Right.
It's a really inspiring, powerful, empowering philosophy. But it's like, well, sometimes it's harder.
You
than others.
You can't say that because different people have different. Some people don't even have fucking shoes. Yeah. Like the idea of pull yourself up by your bootstraps is stupid. And I did it. Why didn't you? No, you did it with your life. The idea that your life, because it was difficult, is exactly the same as somebody else's life, which may be more difficult or have insurmountable obstacles that are in the way. There's also like different temperaments, different mental fortitude that people are just, for whatever reason, from the womb have. Some people are just determined from the time they're really young, and some people are just not. Some people are discouraged easily, and some people are not. And I don't know why. Yeah. But to say that there's no way is crazy. To say there's no way is like, that's irresponsible. And it's also like to say that and just put it on 60 Minutes. Hey, guys, that's not true. And you could talk to a lot of people that have lost weight, and they'll tell you it's not true. It doesn't mean that the people who are obese didn't get a really bad hand genetically, a really bad hand in terms of the environment they grew up with. Yeah, they got dealt a bad hand, no doubt. It's not the same as someone who grows up in a house where everybody's skinny and the fucking whole family runs. Like, no, it's not going to be the same. Someone who's eating organic and the whole family like does a lot of exercise and does stuff together. Yeah, they're going to be thinner. Yeah. But it's like, you can't lie. You can't lie, and you can't expect me to think that you're really an expert when you say things like that.
Yeah, but you also can't criticize Bill Gates by saying he has a soft body.
Of course you can.
Of course you're being a comedian, but
he does. And if he's talking about health, hey, buddy, get your house in order first.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a lot of incredible doctors that don't have their house in order.
That's true. But if you're giving health advice, one of the core components to health is your metabolic health, your overall metabolic health.
Put up this story. Right out of the gate, they're talking about using that drug, that semaglutide stuff we've been
no.
talking about.
Is that what they're doing? So this is like an ad for semaglutide?
I'm not saying that, but that's what it seems like.
Oh, my God.
There's even like the whole thing about the shortages of it.
Oh, no.
So I think Huberman was discussing this. He might have been discussing this with Peter Attia, and they were discussing that semaglutide doesn't just make you lose fat, but also makes you lose muscle in many cases. And that's probably because you're not taking in enough food. Right, because what it's doing is I'm just guessing. There might be some other mechanisms involved, obviously. But if you're like full quicker, which is the idea behind this stuff, it's almost like you're taking an injection that does the same thing as like a belly band. If you're not eating enough food and you're losing fat that quickly, you might be losing muscle too. Like, because when people go on like binge diets, they starve themselves, they lose muscle. Like when guys lose weight for fights and they get down to a very minimalistic, very minimal calorie input, they lose muscle too. Like when someone cuts themselves down from like 205 and fights at 170, 100% they're going to lose some muscle too.
Yeah, but there's so for fighting is different, but there's if you're doing it in a healthy way, for your own personal life, there might be some strength training combined. I mean, that's a really interesting dynamics, right? How do you lose weight while maintaining muscle mass?
Well, it depends on how many calories you're burning. Much of the weight loss resulting from GLP-1 agonists is the loss of muscle, bone mass, and other lean tissue rather than body fat. Holy shit.
It's dark.
For example, a 2021, but at least you look good.